Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. I hope you're doing well. Let's get into it. And remember, you guys, quickly on my Truly account, when you log into Truly, my account is up and ready. If you want to ask me a question, want me to tell you my thoughts on a particular subject that you may be wanting to know about when it comes to royal life or my view on something as an American, log on to your Truly account and be sure to reach out to me and I will give you a videotaped response to your question. I'm sure you guys have all heard about all of this recent news that has come out with this report saying basically that there are social media accounts, hate accounts, that are targeting Meghan Markle. This report that came out by this Bot Sentinel, which is created by this BOUZY or BOUZY, we know most recently that it's come out that he is connected to Sunshine Sachs, and Sunshine Sachs is essentially the PR agency that represents a lot of high-profile celebrities, including, well, celebrities and other people from the British monarchy, ex-royals, essentially, Harry and Meghan. And I think this report that came out is very one-sided, and this is what happens when you're at these levels of profile. You're able to have such a report commissioned to help slant things in your favor, and this is how the report is essentially guiding itself to target the people that it's attacking, meaning the social media accounts, specifically Murky Meg, Yankee Wally, and Taz. And I usually don't talk about other YouTubers because this is a public report and a lot of people are talking about it. I will mention them. And everything that I say and others that speak on this couple and just Meghan Markle, we have facts to back up the things that we talk about because we base our information on researched reports and collected information that makes it to the airways. And I know for myself, that's what I do. I speak about the articles that are coming out, the news, the stories, nothing that is gossip, in my opinion. This is how I give my information. But going back to what was said, so they're saying that these YouTube hate accounts against Meghan Markle are being targeted by BOUZY, who is reportedly connected to Sunshine Sachs. This report is going out at the request of Meghan Markle, her PR firm, which we know is on the payroll. So that in itself is a problem because you're not coming in as an independent observer of information that you're seeing. It's not like you're like, oh, I see a lot of people hating on Meghan. Let me look into this a little bit further. And then you start to gather the information. This was not some third party that had nothing to do with the YouTube accounts being referenced in this report or to Meghan Markle and Harry and the royal family. This is a very targeted organization, company that is on the side of Meghan, that is trying to put out a report to look like it is giving you objectionable information that has come to the conclusion of this is really odd. Look at what we found. No, it went more like, okay, what can we do to really up our public relations and to get people to really not pay attention to the bad behavior of the people we represent? But what can we do to make people look at those that are benefiting from Meghan and her husband and all the shenanigans that they do? This is how it came about. So that in itself is a problem. That in itself is like, well, shoot, we ain't listening to you because you are one-sided. So what they're doing essentially is that they're picking on these soft targets, Yankee Wally, Murky Meg, and Taz. So let's look at what they're saying in this whole example of this report. They're saying that it is a targeted campaign. Well, let's look at the word campaign. Let's just look at what the definition of a campaign, okay? So a campaign is an organized course of action to achieve a goal, okay? So what kind of organization has come about between these social media accounts that they're trying to insinuate has happened? Has anyone really collectively gotten together? Do they have proof that people have been coming together and trying to put together an organized campaign? No, it's the whole, like the first sentence out the gate is questionable. Because there is nothing organized about anyone putting their social media together. No one is connected to anyone. If anything, we've become connected because of our interests, our channels, and the things that we speak about. So there's no organized campaign. Fact. Okay? Second, to achieve a specific goal. What specific goal are any of us trying to achieve, or that the three that I just mentioned trying to achieve? What are they trying to achieve? Are they collectively trying to achieve a goal? Absolutely not. So that sentence is wrong right there. So how is it that they're trying to organize and achieve a specific goal? How about it is an organic means of coming together of like-minded individuals to call out bad behavior of these privileged, morally bankrupt individuals? If anything, that should have been the starting sentence of this whole report. We looking at you like, what you talking about, organized campaign? You know, so for example, let's look at some of the things that have happened in the past that we have talked about. And this is what we all do. We speak on our channels about bad behavior. We call out things that bring into question the motives, the choices of said individuals. No one is just coming up randomly like, shoot, I don't like her. Look at what she's wearing. She is an I don't like her. Look at her, blah, blah, blah. No one is coming out saying anything that is spewing hate. And if anything, hate campaigns look a lot like those that are within the organized KKK, or those who could clearly hate minorities. Those are organized campaigns where they get together in their clubhouses and they talk about what individuals from different races are doing to such and such people, and then they organize to come together to do bad things. You know, but this is what we call propaganda. This report is nothing more than propaganda. Let's look at the definition of propaganda, should we? Okay. It's information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. So, I don't see anywhere where they are not biased because of who I said they're connected to. So we see that this has the definition of propaganda. They are clearly putting this report together using misleading information in why this report is being put together as a campaign, because they are biased. They are misleading in a lot of things that are within this report. And I will bring out some of that, not all, but some of it. So you have to look at the word propaganda as a definition to understand, well, who is this report coming out against? Now, going back to the bad behavior of this couple and what Meghan has done, you know, a lot of the things that have really, in the beginning especially, that really just did not fare well in Meghan and her choices is when she, you know, when she got pregnant, for example, and announcing or giving people the hint that, you know, she was saying that she's pregnant at the wedding of Harry's cousin. Like, who does that? Like, that's so wrong to do. Or shall we talk about the time when they went to Wimbledon, or Meghan went to Wimbledon with her friends, and she had all the seats around her empty out because she's so diva-like. She didn't want people sitting next to her. And they went and had their security go talk to people who were taking pictures, not of Meghan, but Meghan had her security go out and tell those people to not take pictures of her. Like, who does that? You are in a public forum. People are paying attention to the tennis game, but her head is so bloated that she would think that people are taking pictures of her. Like, this right here shows you the intentions and the behavior of this woman as not being very well, a good nature. This is someone who is out to really make themselves more than who they are, and behaving in a way that is so disingenuous that you know that things that are going on behind the scenes have to be playing out the same way. Or should we talk about the fact when they went to the Disney Lion King and Harry left to go to the Disney Lion King premiere rather than go to an event where he was committed to going to support fallen soldiers, but yet go to try to prop Meghan up to get an acting job in a voiceover. There are so many instances of this that they do. That is what these social media accounts are speaking about. They're not organizing any kind of hate. They are calling out behavior and discussing their opinions about bad behavior that needs to be talked about, because it's just not normal. It is completely gobsmacking. Like, you look at the things that they do and you are in disbelief. There's no organized hate. BOUZY goes, I don't know if that's how you say his name. All of these funny spelling words, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say BOUZY. Okay, y'all don't get on me about the way I say it, because I'm just going to say it like this, okay? So we were able to establish, they're saying in the report that Meghan Markle is the target of an ongoing hate and disinformation campaign organized by a group of predominantly Caucasian women. First of all, that's not even true. Going back, okay, to predominantly Caucasian women. Yes, predominantly Caucasian women, and all the women that they chose to highlight are Caucasian. The reason why he used the word Caucasian, because he's trying to insinuate race issues, that they're doing this because they hate because of Meghan's race. And I've said it before, a lot of people consider her not black because of how she looks. I'm telling you, consider her black. And this is why he used the word Caucasian women. They didn't say the black woman. They didn't talk about the other women of color that are speaking out about Meghan and them. But they're trying to insinuate race here when they use this word. So it's slanted. They're talking about they fabricated and disseminated false narrative and altered photos of Meghan on Twitter and other social media platforms. Okay, fabricate information. No, we calling out the behavior that she has done. Like, you got to go look at what has actually happened. Ain't no fabricate nothing. And if anything has been created in a misleading way, it's probably a meme, or there are people out there that are true haters, not the women that this report is speaking about. So they're trying to make the norm of what the majority are doing, and they're trying to highlight it to these three specific YouTubers and Twitter users. And they do it in another scenario. Again, I'll speak about that. So he's going on to say that YouTube incentivizes them to continue producing their hate-filled content that fuels the cycle of harassment and hatred. This here is also yet again a lie, because what is hate-filled? Because you don't like it, you gonna call it hate. You don't like when someone's calling out said woman's bad behavior, so you're going to call it hate-filled. Ain't nothing hate-filled. It is simply, like I said, calling out you wrong. You wrong. They trying to say people are hating when they say that, when they call out bad behavior. So we know that's just a complete lie. Hate-filled, once again, those are people that come out similar to people, organized groups that have actual campaigns like the KKK, the Nazi groups, those that are anti-Jewish people or anti-immigrant. Those organizations are clearly hate-filled. But because they don't like what they hear, they want to slanted to being hate-filled, and that's a false narrative. That, my friends, is a lie. The report is saying that these accounts are a security threat. How about these are easy targets that BOUZY can harass, all of which are in the UK. They're not even talking about the American counts specifically in this report, but yet this couple is living in America. What can people do that are listening to these accounts in the UK that are going to be a threat to Harry and Meghan over in America? And even if they came to the UK, what are these accounts saying that could cause any kind of security threat to Harry and Meghan when they come over to the UK? There's no incitement of go out and harm anybody. That's just not true. I've never heard that on the accounts that I just mentioned. And I don't think other people have either, but once again, we have propaganda, we have misleading information. He goes on to say, we believe several hate counts pose credible threat to Harry and Meghan. Yankee Wally made explicit threats to Meghan Markle, and she has a criminal record and history of violence. Yankee Wally has over 42,000 YouTube subscribers, many of whom live in the UK and the United States. Even if Yankee Wally herself doesn't act on her threats, her incendiary rhetoric creates a dangerous environment that could very well encourage someone else to carry out an attack on Meghan and or other members of the royal family. Now, you see how he tried to slant it by calling out some things that Yankee Wally has spoken out against in the past. She regrets a lot of her past. We all regret things that we have done in our past, but he is trying to connect what Yankee Wally has done in her past that she does not like, trying to connect that to what Yankee Wally is doing now, and how he is trying to connect that to a threat to Harry and Meghan. It's almost like I jaywalked the other day. Well, PDina, when she was jaywalking the other day, her criminal behavior, and when she was caught doing things that the government didn't like, she had to go to court for it. She had to put up a defense against why she did what she did. That could be a threat to Harry and Meghan. Now, how is my crime or my criminality of a misdemeanor crime any threat to anybody? But do you see how they take that information that they found out and try to connect it to their objective, to their propaganda? You see how the sleight of hand is being used here? And it's really disingenuous. But they're trying to create a false narrative that shows that, you know, these YouTubers are like, okay, y'all, we're going to go out there and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, y'all ready? Because we can't tolerate this no more. We getting ready to do something about this. Who's saying this? Don't get it twisted now. Don't try to get it like I'm hating. I'm calling you out because of what you did. And this is exactly what the YouTubers are doing. Calling out the bad behavior and talking about it and giving their opinion. There is nothing more than that. But the propaganda, you guys, is real. And they can seriously slant this to make it seem like it's more than it really is. And then he also talks about the most active accounts. Well, you know, there are bigger accounts than these social media women have. But he doesn't mention these social media accounts. He's not targeting the really big YouTube accounts that are calling out Meghan Markle's bad behavior. Why is that? Why is he not calling about y'all know who they are? Because a lot of you watch them. So you have to ask yourself, why are they trying to say that, you know, these are like the active accounts? It's not true. And you guys can look at the list on the report to see who they are, and you'll recognize several of them. How did they come to their conclusion that these were the most active accounts? Like, what kind of metric did they use to show these are the most active? They don't tell you that, do you? So look at what they're saying and also what they don't say. Where they come out with that data? They gonna be like, okay, we ain't gonna look at that. Okay, we just gonna say it. We're gonna say they're the most active. And they're gonna keep it moving. Like, they're not gonna delve too deep into it because they want to pick on these social media accounts. Very important to recognize. Members of this group used derogatory terms when referring to Meghan and her black supporters. Several members of the group often created derogatory memes to share outside of the group on Twitter and Instagram. The group would be the catalyst of a coordinated and sustained smear campaign targeting Harry and Meghan and spanning multiple social media sites. Now let me tell you something. Ain't nobody who is a public person going to get away from any kind of ridicule. It's just not going to happen. So you can't take something that is common practice within the internet and try to say, well, it is only happening to the people that we are being paid by. Every celebrity's got haters. And Harry and Meghan are no different. But you cannot call those haters and say these social media accounts are the ones that are the haters. No, that is the general public of internet users that are doing the things that he is saying. Propaganda. He's failing to make and show the differences between those that are making these constructive criticisms. And there's nothing more than constructive criticism. And part of the reason why I think Harry and Meghan have gotten themselves, especially Meghan, in the situation that they're in, where the most recent reports have come out that they are not as well liked as they thought they were, is because they do not want to recognize their own bad behavior. They do not want to recognize when they themselves are wrong. And you will never ever hear them call themselves out for anything that they may have done wrong. And that in itself is a problem. Because to recognize your own faults is to also recognize that you're not perfect. And that maybe you are the problem for your own problems. So this is another problem that this couple have. And especially Meghan. And I think this is one of the biggest problems that Meghan's father had with her. That she was so tenacious and so outgoing and so, gung-ho on doing the things that she wanted to do. And whenever he wanted to tell her that what she is doing is wrong, she would get mad at him and she would not speak to him. And this is why he himself has a problem with his own daughter, because she doesn't even want to listen to her own father when he, out of love, is telling her the things that she should not be doing. A lot of things that she did coming up. What kid doesn't? What father would not be in his right frame of mind to call out when their child is behaving poorly or badly, or when they're doing things that they should not do, or when you object to maybe a choice that they may have made, you're going to call it out. And because Meghan was never good at adhering to the disciplinary actions of her father, this is why she's always had problems with him. And I think this is why, along with other things, why she doesn't even speak to him to this day. This lovable father who has given his daughter the world. This is why she chooses to take her high profile life, and she wants to put the importance on that rather than on the true meaning of family and loved ones. That should tell you a lot in itself as well. Ask yourself this. Would there be YouTube channels out there speaking about Meghan Markle if she wasn't doing anything wrong? But the actions of this couple and how Meghan has gotten to where she is now, if you really followed it, especially if you followed it as a big fan of Meghan, and then you start to see the bad behavior, if you look at it that way, then you can really see, hey, there is some content here. Oh yeah, there's some YouTube content here to talk about because of what is going wrong with this train wreck. And everybody wants to look at a train wreck. This is why there's always a pile up of cars with rubbernecking when you see an accident, because people want to see, well, what's going on over there? Ain't nobody looking at people just driving and doing everything, and everything is all good, and oh, we just driving. But as soon as somebody have a wreck, you looking and you like, what happened? What? You checking it out. So nobody would even have a channel if there wasn't a train wreck. So how about telling them about their train wreck? And maybe there won't be any YouTube accounts talking about their bad behavior. Think about it that way too. I think this whole report was created to scare people, to get people to think, watch it. Watch what you doing, because I'm watching you. This is why they created that campaign, nothing more than to scare people, because no one's doing anything wrong. And they don't want to look at the bad behavior of Meghan and how she's treated people, how she's done things to the royal family. How about talking about how they're profiting off of the royal family? How about talking about how they made all this money off of the interview with Oprah? Maybe they didn't get it in their own pocket, but they certainly got something out of it. Let's talk about how they done threw members of the royal family under the bus publicly, but they gonna put out a report talking about YouTubers. But they don't want to talk about things that they've done, how they're making millions of dollars off of their titles, doing things that they should not be doing, how they have really caused a big problem within the House of Windsor with their behavior. But they don't want to talk about that. No, they want to talk about people who are shining a light on them, because they are really the ones that should be written about in this report. It should be written about them, but we can't have that, because you know who the report is commissioned by. It's commissioned by them. They're not going to write a report about themselves. Although, hey, perhaps you should do a study on your own behavior. Just maybe you might learn something. Just maybe you will start to see, maybe it's something I done did. Maybe these people not liking us because my choices were poor. Yeah. See, that self-reflection can do you some good. But it's too painful to do that. It's better to target your pain at the other people, because that feels better than looking at yourself. It's hard to do. And what do they say? Usually the most hardest and difficult things to do are usually the right thing to do. But that's too difficult for them. How about targeting this report at their fans who have given out death threats, who have shamed physically Kate, who have wished people in the royal family dead? The egregious things that they did to Rose Hulse, the one that I interviewed, who very eloquently spoke about the bad behavior of this couple. As a Black American former actress, listen to what she has to say. It's no different. No one's hating. But the fans of this couple need to be addressed by Harry and Meghan. They need to start talking to the people that are their fans. But they won't. Why? Because it's too difficult. It's too hard to call out the behavior of the people that like you. Because you be like, oh, they like me. They can do what they want to do. It's too difficult. But usually, what did I say? If it's difficult to do, most likely it's the right thing to do. Call them out, y'all. Call them out. Because their behavior is egregious, is very, very wrong. Blatantly wrong. And the racist things that have been said about the child, the baby, these are coming from, like I said before, that big group of internet people that are always going to be hating, not the people that are targeting in this report, but they want to make you blur the lines and see that, and that's not the case. So this whole report is designed to make Meghan the victim, because that's what they want. They want her to be the victim. They clearly do not want to look at the logic behind the content that people are creating around this couple. The work that goes into creating this content is no different than when you're watching a news channel and you see their weather report, or when you watch the news and they're talking about all the horrible things happening in the world today. These are people with a salary who are making money. So they want to target what these YouTubers are doing and make it seem wrong, when in fact it's common practice within any other realm of media. It's just how things are done. So look at it, this report, in a logical way and question it, because you have to not be one-sided from the jump start to really take something like this seriously. So I believe this is not an objective scrutiny of anything. There are so many other YouTubers out there that are creating really good content, that are calling out bad behavior, and if they have bad intentions, then that's those specific channels. But I have never seen these three ladies in this report do anything that speaks to what they're trying to insinuate with their propaganda. But she's going to do this purposefully because it gets a lot of views? No, because there's content there. How about Harry and Meghan, and most specifically Meghan, stop making content for people and go out there and learn how to behave in the world. Go out into the world and start being nice. Stop being a train wreck so people don't talk about you. Right? So as long as you're going to keep going out into the world acting like you ain't got no common sense, acting a fool, behaving like you ain't got no common sense, people gonna talk about you. And just because they talk about you don't mean they hating on you. It means they calling out your bad behavior. And just maybe you will become a better person when you start to listen to what people are saying and stop being the bad kid in the family. Harry, wake up. Go talk to your family. Show your children to your grandmama. Start doing the right thing. And then maybe people will stop talking about you. Y'all get on my nerves acting like this and trying to be all, bringing out all this propaganda and nonsense and trying to bring up hoopla around what other people are doing on YouTube. You ain't gonna distract nobody from what you're doing in this report. We keeping our eye on the ball. We're keeping our eye on misbehaving royals, ex-royals who need to start behaving in a way that is acceptable to the people who are actually within the royal family, putting attention to the causes that really matter and not using the causes to build your brand and your bank account. That's the real issue. Go do a report on that.